Well, can we see? Yes. Hello, welcome back again to the channel of Indiana Jones F1 section. And as you can see up here, one day I will learn how to point. Talking about the Miami F1 race. How did you find it? Well, I have to be honest, I didn't really like it that much. And let us see why. Here we have the results of the race. What was expected happened actually. The racetrack has really long straights. It's a fast racetrack, low wing setup. I mean, it's an Abu Dhabi 2.0. Do you see a lot of overtakings in Abu Dhabi? No. You didn't see a lot of overtakes in Miami either. You could see trains of cars following with each other with the DRS open and no overtakings. So anyway, you have Verstappen winning, predictable. Ferrari second and third, they make the same mistake with the setup again. They were very fast on the corners in the straight lines. Verstappen was much faster, and he ate both Ferraris eyes closed. So no big surprises there. Perez fourth. I was expecting him to be on the podium at least, but looks like he had some power issues. And you can see that if you saw the race, and if you saw, I'm telling you now, there is a difference between 2021 and 2022. The only difference is that Ferrari and Mercedes changed positions, and that's it. I mean, there is two teams, and it's the rest. So the same thing. This results with the times. It's not a mirror of what happened really, because there was a safety car towards the end of the race, and there's still a lot of difference between the first four and the rest. If there hadn't been the safety car, there would be much bigger difference for sure. Anyway, looks like Mercedes improved a little bit with some new front and back wings, maybe some work under the car, the diffuser and everything. And you can see that we have Bottas that made a mistake. That's why he's seventh. If not, probably he would have been fifth. And you have the rest of the pack over here. So let's start analyzing a little bit how was the race. This is the start. Leclerc was on the pole. I said Verstappen was gonna be. He made a mistake, and that's why he was not on the pole. Main reason why. Anyway, Ferrari front line, and very short, only 200 meters for until the first corner. And you can see Verstappen overtook Sainz, easily being aggressive. Obviously, Sainz was not going to be aggressive having Leclerc in front of him. However, he could have been a little bit more aggressive with Verstappen next to him. He didn't. Looks like he didn't want to sacrifice the next S sections to and maybe risk getting under attack from Perez or whatever. So Sainz again a little bit soft on there. However, the rest of the race he was tougher, especially with Perez. And this is the overtake for the win of Verstappen on Leclerc. Not much Leclerc could do. I mean, Verstappen had much higher speed, top speed on the straight lines. Easy peasy. I mean, it was a very easy victory for Red Bull. Even with the safety car, it was a time where Leclerc was attacking Verstappen. Nothing much he could do. They didn't have the top speed. The Red Bull had much higher top speed. So another racetrack with big straight lines, like in Jeddah, for example, where Red Bull had the wings in a lower setup than Ferrari, and in the straight lines he destroyed the Ferraris. So that's for the first two of the Grand Prix. Ferrari needs to do something about that. Either they change their strategy and try to go lower on wings for the racetracks with long straight lines, or they will have the same result over and over again. And then we have Sainz and Perez. What can we say about this? This is dive bomb from Perez trying to overtake Sainz after the safety car. It was a safety car, I will tell you later why. And Perez took the strategy to try to overtake Sainz because everyone was on the hard tires with like 20 laps ish, so went in free pit stop. The ones behind were like more than 20 seconds behind him, and he was like 15 or 20 seconds behind Verstappen. So it's like the fifth qualified was 40 seconds behind Max Verstappen. Anyway, put mediums and still could not overtake Carlos Sainz. Could it be power problems? Je ne sais pas. I don't know. However, he did try and he couldn't. Also, something analyzing a little bit what happened after the safety car. If you can see, Verstappen and Leclerc started driving away like 1 second per lap from Sainz and Perez. It's not because they were fighting, because Perez actually did not attack much Sainz, other than on the start and on this dive bomb. Or on this dive bomb. Anyway. I'll be disappointed with Perez. I mean, he's I don't know if he lost the power, whatever. He was not able to overtake Sainz with a high speed the whole race. In the beginning, he didn't have the power problem, so no excuse for Perez, for me at least. This is the other battle. Well, Bottas is somewhere behind there. Russell got very lucky with his strategy. He started on the hard tire, as opposing to the rest of them. They started on the medium tires and then changed to the hard tires after like 15 or 20 laps. Russell was doing the opposite. On lap 40 he was supposed to pit and he got lucky. He decided to gamble for the safety car. There was a safety car and he got just behind Hamilton and he overtook both Bottas and Hamilton with the medium tires. He did overtake him, Hamilton. He did Russell on Hamilton. He did overtake him on the outside of the track. That's why he had to give the position back and then attack him again. They are teammates. They are not going to make it very difficult, right? And yeah, Bottas came 7th. He did a little mistake, but shows that Alfa Romeo actually has the pace, at least on this kind of racetracks. Alfa Romeo has the pace to be on the top 5, 6, 7 position. Not Zhou Guanyu. For some reason he had to retire the car. Also, I have to say something that is quite interesting. On the qualifying lap on Q1, Zhou Guanyu got really unlucky because at the end of his fast lap he found a lot of cars stopped in the final corners that did not allow him to finish the lap. Was there any investigation? No. Was there any penalties? No. Why? My theory, there was a Red Bull right there. And the Red Bull, you are not going to put a penalty on the Red Bull, right? Is it fair? Not for me. I mean, there were like 4 cars stopped in the final corners, and you destroyed the lap of this guy who was going to go to Q2. For me, it was a penalty by the book. However, they didn't do anything. What can we say? But anyway, analyzing the other ones and the top 10 at least. Ocon, same strategy like Russell. He was starting behind. He had an accident, didn't qualify. He was starting the last. Same strategy like Russell. Hard tires, went there, got lucky with the safety car, and got a very nice 8th position. He finished the race behind Alonso. However, Alonso did have some some issues during the race for which he had some penalties. That's why you see him in position 11. He had 2 penalties, 5 seconds each. One for crashing into Gasly. It was a dive bomb out of desperation. I mean, a driver with 2 world championships, 40 years old, in an Alpine, desperate to overtake Gasly, which he destroyed Gasly's race, by the way. Nothing to say. Albon, similar to Ocon, and Lance Stroll that got lucky because a lot of cars in front of him retired. So, what can we say? And from the rest, uh, quite disappointing race for Yuki Tsunoda. Daniel Ricciardo, what can we say? He's not driving well at all. Something is not comfortable for him in the car, and even this year, I don't know. It looks like he's not going to finish his contract in McLaren. Latifi, 1 foot outside. He didn't crash this race, but he has 1 foot outside. And Mick Schumacher, he was doing actually a quite decent race. He was quite decent race. He was in front of Magnussen for once during the race, and he had this incident with Sebastian Vettel, who was doing a quite decent race as well, thanks to a safety car. I don't know if he just saw the moment to try to beat Vettel and escape from Ocon that was behind him. He rushed. It can happen, however, it's not good if it happens. Alonso did the same thing, penalty. Schumacher did the same thing, no penalty. Looks like they changed the race directors and the stewards, but still the penalties are not the same. And yeah, Gasly got the car damaged from Alonso's car, found Norris on the way, or Norris found him on the way, and both out, and Zhou Guanyu retired from the race. So let's see. This is the incident that brought the safety car. What can we say? I mean, whose fault is it? Norris was overtaking him from the outside. I don't know if Gasly saw him or not, but it happened. I mean, if Gasly, that by the way was going very slow, he couldn't continue with the pace, he should have retired. I don't know if black flag but he should have retired the car if he could not continue, and he was not able to continue. I mean, he was doing something really bad in the previous corners, and the car was obviously damaged. They should have retired the car, and they didn't. So this happened. Whose fault? I don't know. In theory, the car that comes from behind is the one who has to be careful with the car in front, right? For me, it's just a race incident. No guilty people. However, Norris, that was fighting with with the Haas of Magnussen and Schumacher and Vettel, well, got out. No fault there. Other incidents in the start: Alonso hitting Hamilton from behind. No space. There's no space. Why he hit him? He did a good start. However, looks like he was trying to make a better start than what he could. Not a big thing. Looks like no cars were damaged. This is the dive bomb with Gasly. Where was he going? I mean, looks like he was trying to attack Gasly from his house in Switzerland. With an experienced driver as Fernando Alonso, this is not acceptable. He just was frustrated behind him, could not overtake him, and decided to go for it and damage Gasly's car. Gasly's race was over. Just a 5-second penalty. It's not a big incident, but still. One is out of the race, the other one wasn't. This is Schumacher's incident with Vettel. Same thing with Fernando Alonso. Got impatient, I guess, and lost it. This should have carried a penalty, same as Alonso did, but they didn't. What can we do? Basically, that's the race result. For me, the analysis to wrap it up. The racetrack, Abu Dhabi 2.0. You cannot overtake. Spectacular to drive on? I don't know. I mean, if you have such long two straights, it's kind of boring if you're on the onboard camera. We don't need racetracks like this. For me, you need something like Spa. You need something like I don't know, Silverstone. Something more spectacular, not just for the overtaking, but also for the drivers, for the spectators to see cars. Right? I don't know. But it looks like the what is it called? Liberty Media. They want to try to do something like they do with IndyCar, for example. Lots of urban races. Next year we will have Las Vegas, 9 corners. It doesn't make sense. However, before judging, we have to see how the races are. We saw Miami. For me, not worth being in the calendar. Lots of glamour and all these things. Lots of famous people. But anyway, Verstappen is closing on Leclerc. And see you next time on Barcelona. Take it easy.